forward Beatrix Henkel with her presentation called Crafting Green Futures with Hemp Innovation. Please give her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I would like to continue where Chris and Gaia left off with the complexity and talking to you about materials by bringing in the focus on one specific material here, which is called industrial hemp. Before starting, let me just ask you all, how many of you are familiar with industrial hemp? Not cannabis, that is for smoking, the other one. Okay, all right, thank you. So I'm here to have this conversation with you as a human to human, but also as a non-designer to a designer, and tell you a little bit different perspective to it. Many of them will be related to the previous presentation, but it will all be coming from the perspective of industrial hemp and how to use it about conscious choices and conscious design. There is a huge myth around industrial hemp covering many centuries, being used, misused, abused. And right now it's kind of feels like globally it's entering its renaissance again, thanks to people being more educated, being more aware of doing the research, doing that homework, and really being able to know the difference between the greenwashing, between the different choices being used here, that the shadow of cannabis is still there, but everybody who has access to a large database called the internet, they can do the research and see how many innovations are coming up as we talk, how many pieces of research are coming up about industrial hemp and how it can be used on a daily basis. And I have started this. This is me on our hemp farm. So we are growing it. We support people who want to create from it. We love innovative projects, and we want to bring it back into being trendy, being fashionable, and being attractive. And I really got into the industrial hemp story through the example of mindset, of how changing your mindset, changing your habits, changing the way you look at choices and how to make conscious choices will ultimately change your reality and your everyday practice. So me shifting into the industrial hemp world doesn't only mean creating, it means dressing up fully in hemp, it means sleeping in hemp, it means using that cosmetics, and it also means sharing the knowledge with the community, educating, raising awareness, running workshops, being open to conversation with anyone who wants to create from it. So this is a full spectrum of it. It's not just one or the other elements. And this is something that was highlighted in the previous talk as well, something that I would like to build on. Yes, greenwashing can be a danger, but we also have gut feeling. We also have the community wisdom. We have each other to ask the questions and to answer the questions and to brainstorm about it. And that goes for all the materials and all the solutions out there as well. I put here a very nice comparison between the two because I wasn't sure, how many of you will know about it. And because there is still a confusion in the mind of many globally when this is being introduced. As you see, industrial hemp can really, and this is a very famous quote in the industrial hemp world, is a plant that can provide you shelter, it can provide you food, and it can also clothe you. And this is one single plant that can be used in 2,500 plus different ways. So all the things that you can imagine and the very nice material library at the entrance, you will see how many ideas already are there and how many more are coming as well. And you see clearly the example, and the functional also comes back in. What is the function you want to use it for? If you are looking for something where you can really create an impact, if you are looking for something where you are actually taking a step to make something a reality that will create that impact that is giving back to the community, you know what to use and you know how to create it. I have here a list of kind of some pieces of information about it, because that's very important for you to know, as maybe somebody who would maybe consider using industrial hemp for some innovations, for some product ideas. And we are the biggest supporters of it. We are very, very passionate about it and open to anyone who wants to create from it and support anyone with any kind of idea about it. And as you see, this becomes all these facts, they become really important, because now anyone who is a designer cannot only look at one section, one stage of the process. It starts from the beginning. If you are a fashion designer, you cannot just draw the sketches and do the sampling and the production. You look at the plants, you look at the environmental impact of the plant has on the soil, on the land, how much water we are using, how much chemicals we are using. And then you decide which material you want to work with, and then you go on with the other steps. Not only for marketing purposes, mainly not, but I would say more aligning with your values. If that's something important for you, that what you are creating is not just a piece in itself, but it's part of the ecosystem, the larger ecosystem, then you will look at all these elements, and that's when this becomes very important. I listed a couple of products that we have and we collected, and manufacturers that we are working with are creating. You know, it can be more modern, it can be more attractive, but I feel this is a story we are writing together and we have just started. We are just on the first few pages. So if you see, then really you will see the building blocks, you will see the insulation materials, but you will also see textile and paper products, you know? And if you go down there, you will see these ones, and feel free to touch it, try it, etc. They are all up for, testing and experimenting as well. And reach out to us if you want to experiment with it. What I would like to highlight here is just think of the 3 different industries. Think of textile as one of the biggest polluters, and think of how it can be revolutionized just by using plants similar to hemp. Industrial hemp and other plants that are similar in their environmental goodness. And also think of paper and packaging. Now, how much paper we are using, how many trees we are cutting. Very soon, time is coming. We are going to have piles and tons and megatons of textiles, rubbish that we are not using, dumped somewhere, not being reused. And we are also going to have almost no trees. So the time is coming when we are going to look more and more into solutions that are saving us, because nature will carry on. It's on us to make that shift for our own life and for our own benefit. And the third one is, I mentioned the textile, I mentioned the paper, and the biggest one I left for the last one, which is the building industry, the built environment. Now, when you think of the built environment, it means more than half of your life. You come here, you go home, you go shopping, you go to the cinema, wherever you are breathing in indoor air, which might be harmful. Usually it is. Because if it's cement or concrete, it is going to absorb more oxygen as compared to hemp that is going to give you more oxygen. It's a carbon negative building material. So anytime when you are designing in any areas, these are also important elements of your own well-being. So the time comes now, thankfully, that we are becoming more aware, and we are putting it more in the focus on what's good for us, what's good for our health. And that's wonderful, because this is something we are creating for us and also for the others. Now, I listed here a couple of things that where I see innovation happening. It's a very, very global thing. So I hope you don't get lost here, but I just put it really out big, because farming and production right now, it's if you look at the global scale, then regulations are changing because the climate is changing. They have to adapt. They have to do something with the lands, and they are looking for plants that persevere. And the farming is there, but then what happens with the other elements? How do you manufacture? How do you process? And where the aggregators are going to be? Who is going to buy those solutions? and it's very nicely illustrates the coming years, the coming decades of how it's going to build into the supply chain. But also one important thing that I realized after talking to people from the government, from Saudi Arabia, from Turkmenistan, and Pakistan as well, that what happens, by the way, it can be true for Hungary as well, many other countries. What happens is that they started looking inside. If you notice that if you look at a little bit of economy, logistics, the prices of shipping anything anywhere, it just became horribly expensive. So what countries are starting doing now is to look inwards, to create solutions inwards, and we call it circular economy, which is another beautiful thing that we can all be part of and we can all contribute in any country. And there is a carbon negative product design element to it, which I super like to highlight, because when a design becomes not only a design, but comes with a wonderful story of creating something with values in mind, then it really creates an impact just by the birth of it, just by it embodying the thoughts and ideas you have. I put AI-assisted machinery also into this because we have the technology now that we didn't have, let's say, 200 years ago when Hungary was very big on industrial hemp production, for example. But it's true for many other countries. So we can use that and we can create manufacturing and processing in a way that doesn't take our time, efficient, and still can and scalable, because that will be the next phase for many of the innovative ideas coming up, how quickly scalable they are. That's going to determine their success. So a couple more things, just two more, is the fine arts and design and the biomimicry, because there is a lot of areas where this can be used. And I would like to bring one example that is related to our story, that we created a exhibition in the Hungarian National Heritage Park in Opusztaszer, introducing the 1,000 years of industrial hemp. And in October, we created a first sculpture composition from industrial hemp by a Hungarian sculptor. So that shows us is if you as designers, you have the opportunity, you are the most open-minded, you are the most open to new ideas and to experimentation, and you can lead the way. The last one I would like to say, I have here hemp is the future, but also two messages. One of them for you as human to human is really pay attention to the choices you have and make conscious choices. And as a designer, please put your heart in the design, heart for yourself as called compassion, heart for others, which is also compassion and understanding, and the love for nature. Thank you.